In honor of spooky season, babe, get into the shirt. Slay all day. Hello? Get into it. Y'all should know what this video is going to entail by the title alone, and I am so excited. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so excited about this video. But before we get into it, let me just go ahead and introduce you guys for all the newbies. Go ahead and pull up a chair, babes. It gets hella chaotic over here, and my reading vlogs are no different, okay? So I hope you enjoy the vibes, and if you enjoy the vibes, please subscribe.
I need you, yeah, I really do. Tell me what to do. Tell me what to do.
Okay.
Tell me what to do. All I know is hit the mall and see what damage I could do.
Okay.
I give you the world, but there's other planets too. And I need someone to be patient with me. Someone to get money with, not take it from me. Look, they don't even need to be as famous as me. I don't think I meet them at the places I be, but...
Good morning. Happy sunrise, fam. It is freezing in my room right now. God, dog, it's cold. As y'all know, every single year in October, me and my two book besties, Brittany and Brittany, we do a spooky season buddy read. One of my Brittany's has some other stuff going on right now, so she more than likely will not be participating this year, which is absolutely fine. But me and the other Brittany, which I call her Brit for short, we're going to be tag teaming 8 books, you guys. 8 books for this particular spooky season. We've done more, we've done less, but this time we have finalized a total of 8 books. I'm super excited about this video though, because this is the first time that I'm going to be doing a reading vlog for spooky season in general. I don't think I have any reading vlogs where I'm doing spooky season reads. I think I've just done like spooky season recommendations, or I've just gave my review on spooky season books that I've read. This will be a nice little addition to the experience, I think. Now, I am still in the middle of reading the Harry Potter series. I am still on book number 4, which is Goblet of Fire. So I'll more than likely will be reading those books in between the books that I'm reading with Brit, because I am still working on a reading vlog for Harry Potter as well. The first vlog is already posted. I believe that was books 1 through 3. The second vlog will probably be books 4 and 5, and then the third one will probably be 6 and 7. So be sure to check out the first vlog and be on the lookout for the other 2. Now, to get into the books that we're going to be reading this month, you guys, we got a little bit of fantasy, we have a little bit of thriller, we have a little bit of spice and unhingedness. I don't really know how to categorize the other ones. I guess it's like dark academia, dark gothic, you know, whatever have you, but here are the selections for this month. First and foremost, we're going to be reading I Fed Her to the Beast, and the Beast is Me by Jameson Shea, I believe is how you pronounce the name. This one is more under the suspense and thriller vibes. We're also going to be reading Hexed by Emily McIntyre. This is a dark retelling of The Little Mermaid. I have already read books 1 through 5, because, well, all of the books are standalones, but this was the final addition to the series itself. I did a reading vlog on this too if you guys want to check it out, but we are going to go ahead and knock out this particular book because we did actually buddy read this entire series together, so we might as well finish it together, right? The next 2 books that we're going to be reading is actually a part of a trilogy. The third one is not out yet. I can't remember. I did have a subscriber tell me when it was going to be coming out. I think she said next year sometime. So the books I'm talking about is Blood at the Root, and the second book is Bones at the Crossroads. Both of these are written by Ladarian Williams, and this is magic, black HBCU, so on and so forth. So I'm very excited to get into this because we've had this on our TBR for the longest time. So we're definitely going to try to get into it this spooky season. The other books that I have on the list, I actually don't have them on hand, physical copies just yet. One of the books is going to be it's going to be a little palate cleanser, if you will, but it is a novella. It's called Myers. I actually had this one on my Kindle last year for spooky season, but I never got into it. So we're going to read it this spooky season just to kind of see what the vibes are, you know? The next book that we're going to be reading is Manacled. I do actually have Manacled on my Kindle. Someone sent it to me last year sometime, and I didn't read it because I wanted to read the Harry Potter series first and then get into the fan fiction art of Manacled and see what that was about. So me and Britt are going to be reading that this spooky season as well, because we both love Harry Potter vibes and kind of want to see like a retelling or a darker version of what would have happened if Voldemort actually did win the war. So that's going to be interesting to get into. Piggybacking right off of that, we're going to be reading Alchemized by the same exact author. If I remember correctly, I believe she wrote Manacled, but being that it was like fan fiction or whatever like that, she couldn't publish it, which is perfectly understandable because, you know, you're using the author's characters and things of that nature. So understandable. So she did end up writing and publishing Alchemized, which actually just dropped, like 2 weeks ago. And I don't know if it's like the same undertone as Manacled or if it has a different storyline, whatever have you, but it is very, very hyped. And a lot of people just rant and rave about how well Manacled was. So I'm very interested to see how Alchemized is as well. Plus the book is beautiful. So I do actually plan on buying this book. So I may have the physical copy on hand by the time we get around to it. Last but not least, we are going to be reading Nightshade. I don't remember what Nightshade is about, but I have seen a couple of YouTubers talking about it, and they like it. They rant and rave about it, and it is a little bit on the darker side, but no clue what the storyline is. But that is a part of our spooky season TBR. Now, we have been known to switch up things here and there. We have been known to take some books out of our TBR and replace it with something different. We also have been known not to complete the entire TBR just based off of life, and we just read what we can. So we're going to see whether or not we're able to get through all 8 of these books, whether or not we're going to be adding more books to the list, or whether or not we're going to be taking some books away just due to maybe we're just not in the mood for it. We'll see. But I can't wait to start. Let's go ahead and get into the vibes. Hey y'all, so it's October 1st. It's late in the day. I apologize about the lighting, y'all. Let's just pretend it's a little mood lighting, okay? The light bulb in my room went out, and we just haven't gotten around to changing it because honestly, we only be in this room when it's bedtime anyway, and we keep our blinds open, so we be forgetting that it needs a new bulb until we come in here at nighttime and turn it on and it don't work. So we got the little lamps on right now. Just bear with me, you guys. As y'all know, we're starting our spooky season TBR. I had a busy day today. Unexpected day at that. We left the house around 11 o'clock this morning, and we did not get back home until a little after 7 p.m. Okay? As you can see, I am exhausted. I started reading the first book of our spooky season TBR, which is I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. I took the cover off, and this is the book outside of the cover. So far, I've only read 1 chapter, and I am actually enjoying it. We were technically supposed to read 10 chapters tonight. I'm gonna give it all I got, y'all. I'm gonna give it all I got. I don't know if I'm gonna have a lot to give, but I'm gonna give it all I got. I did get through chapter 1, and I am actually really enjoying it. Right now, it's following, I already forgot the girl's name, the MMC. What is her name, child? I said the MMC, the FMC. I can't remember her name right now. I feel like searching for it. So the FMC is a dancer. She's at some school in France, Paris, something like that. And right now they are getting ready to audition for Giselle, I believe. And being that I am a dancer and I've always had a passion to be like a dance choreographer. That was my dream as a child, to be a dance choreographer. And I was always dancing, always moving. I still do, but I never went professional. And so whenever I'm reading books like that or I'm watching shows like that, it just, I don't know, it hits me a little bit different because I kind of relate to the lifestyle of dance. So just kind of going through this and knowing what it is that you have to go through to be a dancer, especially a ballerina, like it's, baby, it's a lot. And I don't know, it's just very intriguing. I was already pulled in by the very first page. So I'm interested to see how this is going to turn dark per se, because this is like a thriller, so to speak, you know, a suspense thriller type situation. So I'm interested to see how this is going to turn for the worse, you know. But I will update y'all a little bit more once I get further along, because again, I literally just got to chapter 2. So I'll probably update y'all sometime tomorrow with how far I've gotten in my thoughts.
Mama. It's time for her. Now for him.
I got some clowns as children. Why would you go in a hole?
What?
With a random, like, what? Like, why would you, as a black person,
Someone in her
why would you go in a hole?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that?
Is this a block out there?
Yes, this is a black author, but like, not only did you go in a random hole, I just, child, this is getting a little,
Every time when I tell
a little insane, a little crazy, a little, you know, it's starting to get a little dark. It's getting a little dark. Good evening, you guys. I am currently at my mother's house. We decided to spend the night. I needed a change of scenery. So it is like 11:30 right now. I finally made it to, well, I finally finished chapter 10 probably about 2 hours ago. I was gonna come on here and recap for y'all really quick, but because it's late and my children are still trying to get settled in bed, I let them stay up later than I should have, but they're still trying to get settled in bed. So I'll probably hop on here tomorrow and give y'all like a quick little recap or my, you know, how I feel about the book so far tomorrow. I did speak with Brittany and she just got off of work not too long ago, so she's still playing catch up, and she said that she's going to try to get to chapter 15 tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and read a little bit more and try to get to chapter 15 as well, and then I will talk to y'all tomorrow and let y'all know my thoughts and feels. But so far, this book is nuts. It's a lot going on, babes. It's a lot going on, and it's definitely getting a wee bit darker for sure. Okay, good morning, you guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy sunrise. I apologize about the background noise. My daughter is watching something on Netflix. I don't know. But let's talk about this book while I have some time. So, like I told y'all last night, I was trying to make it up to chapter 15 because that's what Britt wanted to do. I actually kept falling asleep, so I might need to read like this last 2 to 3 pages here. But I did actually stop on chapter 15. I didn't have it in me to continue through to try to finish chapter 15, or start it rather. So I'm gonna read it today. I'm probably gonna read up to chapter 20. Y'all, this book is very different. It's different to say the least. I don't think I've read anything like this with this type of storyline. So it's intriguing. I am having a little bit of trouble with the writing style. Not necessarily because the writing style is bad, but I'll be completely honest, I'm not that well versed when it comes to French, and this storyline is taking place in Paris. So some of the terminology that's used is like French words and things like that, which I could easily look up. I just, honestly, I've been reading this book randomly and I just didn't feel like it. But outside of that, the storyline itself is very, very interesting so far. It follows, I believe her name is Lori for short, but I think her full name is Lawrence. And like I told y'all before, she is the only black girl that's mentioned, at least, that's in this prestigious school, this dance academy. And she is literally the best dancer there, hands down the best, one of the best dancers. She is one of the best dancers of her class at that school. And people see it, they know it, they can tell, they're envious, you know, all of the things. But because she's black, she's overlooked. They feel like she doesn't deserve to be there. They feel like, you know, they keep criticizing her, or she's too uptight and she's too this and she's too that or whatever, because they really can't criticize anything else. She's really that girl for real. Like, she's T when it comes to this ballet shit, right? I'm trying to explain it the best way I can without giving y'all all of the tea. Once they graduate their semester or whatever like that, they have these auditions to where they're granted these dance contracts to where they can continue dancing on in like these big ballets and things of that nature, right? So that's essentially what everybody is fighting for, is once they get out of school, they have good paying jobs where they're still dancing and living their dreams. There's this other girl named Josephine who is doing exactly that. She's already graduated. She's always a big headliner. Well, she's already a big headliner. Everybody literally looks up to her. They love her, but they also hate her. They envy her because they want to be her. It's that type of party. Josephine and Lori end up getting, I guess, cool. It's just really giving selling your soul for the things that you love. I'm enjoying it. It's keeping me intrigued. I will say that it's keeping me intrigued. I'm just having a little bit of trouble reading some of the, you know, like I said, some of the terminology and stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't understand. I don't speak French, so I don't really know what they're saying, and I'm just being too lazy to like look it up to kind of see. But I am having a decent time with this. I guess you could say I'm like halfway through this book. I'm like 40% in, I think Good Read said. I'm about 40% into the book. Probably 30%, somewhere around there. I don't know. But that's what's going on so far. I don't really know how Britt feels about it yet because we haven't had a chance to really discuss the chapters that we've been reading, because she's been working and I've been doing my mom thing. So hopefully maybe sometime today or tomorrow we can actually sit down and talk about how we feel about what we've read so far and throw out ideas of what we think is going to happen and things of that nature. I'm going to read some more today. Like I said, I'm probably going to stop at chapter 21 just to give Britt some time to catch up, and then I will double back and talk to y'all more once I have more tea. Hey you guys, so what was I about to say to y'all? I just wanted to catch y'all up on my reading, so y'all know I'm still reading this. I should just download it on my Kindle, and it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy because I have the Kindle in my bag with me. I have the Kindle in the bag with me, y'all. But I'm still reading this book. I actually made it to chapter 22 last night. I know I told y'all I was going to stop on chapter 20, and I did, but we're trying to read 6 more chapters today, and I stopped on chapter 22. So far, y'all, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the book. I like it. I'm not going to lie to you. I do like the book. I'm having a good time. I'm intrigued by the storyline, but I think the writing style is just so different from what I'm used to. It's kind of taking me out my comfort zone a little bit. And then not only that, y'all know I'm coming out of a book slump as well. So although I've been reading the Harry Potter series, I've been reading it very slow, if y'all can't tell. I've been reading it very slow, and I'm trying not to force myself into trying to read, you know, faster with any books that I get into, because I don't want to put myself back into a slump. You know what I'm saying? So I am enjoying the book, you guys. I don't know. I think it's just the me coming out of the book slump, and then also the writing style for me is just so different than what I'm used to. And not different in a bad way, it's just very different. I've never read a book quite written like this. It's just the best way to put it. So it's kind of, you know, I feel a little bit out of my comfort zone or whatever have you, and I'm reading a little bit slower so I can make sure I'm understanding and grasping the information. So with all that being said, I kind of gave y'all a little synopsis on what the book is about, and now things are happening. There's a lot of things that are happening, y'all, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, only because I need answers. I need to understand a lot more. I will say I do not trust the main FMC. I don't trust her best friend. I do not trust her best friend. This book is really giving like Ace of Spades. It's not as crazy as Ace of Spades was when it comes to like the racial stuff or whatever have you, but it's still giving Ace of Spades, right? And her best friend is a white girl, and I don't know, it's kind of giving like she's just a token black friend, or it's given one of those situations to where like, okay, I'm rooting for you, I'm happy for you, you know, we're cool until I feel like you're surpassing me, or I feel like you're doing better than me. And then it's like, I don't understand how that's even possible, because you're supposed to be beneath me, being that I'm white, you're black, I'm rich, you're not. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the vibes that is giving. And then also, now that she's already made this deal where she's like, quote unquote, maybe like sold her soul to, I don't know if this is a demon, I don't know if this is a god. They're calling it a god in the book, and we all know if you went to school for stuff like this, or if you study stuff like this, every god is not a good god. You know what I'm saying? So they're calling it a god in the book, but we don't know. I don't know. It's just something going on there. It's something going on with the friend that's just not sitting right with my spirit, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just her true colors showing when it comes to like the racial aspect of things, or if there's some underhanded stuff that's going on that's leading more into like what the plot of the book is and the storyline and everything that's going on with this god, right? But also, I really want to know more about this god, because what is the reason for the deal? Like, what do you want with these children? What do they have to continuously give for you? Like, what is the purpose? I kind of want to know what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm enjoying that part of the book, but I need to know more. And I'm hoping that the further we go along, I get some of those answers as to like how it even existed. How did it get here? You know, how long has it been here? You know, like, what is the purpose? You know, all of those things. I'm hoping that some of those answers, some of those questions are answered. And then last but not least, Brittany has finally checked in, and we're at the same reading spot right now. She just finished 22, and she sent me some of her thoughts. So I am going to post that here for y'all to hear what she has to say.
His thoughts on the book so far. I can't tell if I'm enjoying it or if it's weird. And I don't know how else to describe that, but I guess for starters, I don't mind the fact that it's like really heavy into like technical ballet from what I've read so far, because I took ballet in high school as well as like classes outside of high school. So some of the most of the terms I'm pretty familiar with until you get into like the audition and like actual performance technical terms. Those I'm just like, I don't really remember what that means. Is it really relevant enough? Is it worth it enough to like actually go back and look that up and then come back and revisit whatever scene I'm reading in the book? Or can I just like continue on with like a general understanding and be fine? Do you know what I'm saying? So like right now I don't really see how relevant it is to do that. So I'm kind of just trucking along based off of what I can remember. The writing flow is something I have quite literally never read before, and right now I'm struggling to decide if I like it or if it's weird. Now, I mean, am I enjoying it? Yes, but I just can't tell if it's like weird or if it's just actually genuinely vibing with it.
I do find it very, very, very interesting that we are both having the same exact reading experience. And I do find it interesting that we are kind of viewing things exactly the same. As far as like the writing style, as far as like the whole thing behind dance, because we know she's a dancer too. or was a dancer too. So we kind of know like the insights behind dance and how serious it is and how cutthroat it can be, and how like people would definitely try to sabotage you know, your career to kind of get in your spot. Like we know the ins and outs of that. So I think that's another reason why we're kind of intrigued by the storyline itself. But I just find it interesting that we're literally having the same exact reading experience. We're having the same exact thoughts as far as some of the characters are concerned, as far as like the questions that we want answered, so on and so forth. So I'm interested to see how the rest of this book is going to go and how we're going to feel about the ending. I did also find out that this book is a part of a series, y'all. So I'm a little bit upset about that because I thought this was a standalone. We was going to be one and done. We can move on to the next book. But no, babes, there's a second book. This is a duology. So we are going to read it. We do want to know what else is going on up in this universe. So we are going to read it. It is available on Kindle. So both of us went ahead and downloaded it last night just so we can get prepared, because we're aiming on being done with this book by tomorrow at the latest, so we can go ahead and jump into the next book or whatever. So those are my updates, babe. I will be back with more once I start reading again, because today is a little bit of a busy day. I didn't expect to be out in these streets again or whatever, and we have a birthday dinner to go to later on this evening, so I was not expecting us to be out and about again. So I'll let y'all know. I'll let y'all know once I know what the fuck going on. Okay, hello y'all, good evening. I apologize about the angle of the camera right now, y'all. It's just been a day, okay? It's been a day. It's a full moon right now. The full moon is in Aries. I'm pregnant. My kid's been acting a plum fool today. I'm just this close from crashing the fuck out, okay? But enough about that. Let's talk about this book. I actually did finish this book Saturday. Well, technically Sunday morning, because I finished it 2 o'clock in the morning. Me and Britt did. And it's days later and I still don't know how I feel about it. And it's just so funny. And I think I told y'all this before. Me and Britt literally have the same exact thoughts when it comes to this book. First and foremost, let's start with the pros, because it's not even really pros and cons for me for real. But I guess the pros, if I had to split it down the middle, would I recommend this book? Yes. Did I have a good time? Yes. Was I intrigued from beginning to end? Yes. I do actually appreciate the fact that all of the questions that I initially had, you know, throughout the book, they were gradually answered versus being completely dragged out to the very end. I will also say I did enjoy the connection between our main FMC and one of the male characters that was talked about. I can't remember what his name was though. I think his name was Ander. I did enjoy their connection. It's kind of like they're forbidden in a sense. If you read the book or if you've read the book, you'll know exactly what I mean by that, because I'm still trying to figure out how they would actually work just due to whatever Ander has going on. But I did enjoy their connection overall. I also enjoyed the fact that he was like enamored with her, damn near worshiping her, and as you should, as a man, as you should. And I think that's it. If I have to go towards negatives, like cons, I don't necessarily have cons for real. It's just things that I don't know, y'all. I think this is the very first time that I've read a book to where I enjoyed it, but then genuinely don't know how I feel about it after the fact. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's very, I don't have the words. I will say I did figure out some of the plot throughout the book, which I don't really look at that as a con for real, because I did like the way that it played out and how it was all revealed towards the end. I don't really know how I feel about the end. There was a part towards the end that was very intense, so to speak, theatrical. I didn't dislike it, but I also didn't love it. It added a little flair to the book, but it was also very unrealistic. And that's crazy to say just simply because this is an unrealistic book, so to speak. It's sci-fi, it's thriller, it's suspense. So a lot of what's going on is, you know, unrealistic. But I don't know, it was something about that part towards the end between her and her best friend that was just like, okay, I'm intrigued by this, but this was it necessary? You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how to explain it, you guys. I really didn't connect with the characters. Like I said, I did enjoy that little connection between the FMC and Ander, but I didn't really connect with the characters for real. And when I read in books, I love to either connect with the characters or I love to be able to relate to the characters in some way, shape, or form, you know? But I didn't really connect with them for real. I enjoyed the characters, not all of them, but I enjoyed the characters, but I didn't really feel, it didn't give me feels, you know what I mean? And then also just the underline of being a black woman in a white world, so to speak, and how difficult it is to be seen when you're surrounded by your counterparts in that type of environment. You know, it doesn't matter how great you are. It doesn't matter if you're the best. It doesn't matter, you know, if you are the star. You'll never be good enough in that type of environment, because how dare you come in our environment and make us work harder or make us look bad or make us look less than, you know what I mean? It kind of was given that too, which that's the world we live in, you know? So that part I related to a little bit, having to work twice as hard in a dog-eat-dog world, but especially if you're a person of color. So interesting. But outside of that, y'all, and I'm sorry, I keep looking off because I'm trying to really think about everything as I'm talking to y'all, so I'm not losing, you know, I may have missed a couple of things, but being that I don't really have an overall, I don't know where my feels are when it comes to this book. I'm just trying to get out as much as I can to explain y'all to explain to y'all what my reading experience was as far as this book is concerned. And I did rate it a 3.5. So I gave it a 3.5 stars. I'm sorry, y'all. My blanket's all in the way. I did give it a 3.5 stars. And I kind of rated it at 3.5, probably 30% into the book. That's what my rating was. And it just kind of stayed there throughout the book. If you know my rating process, that's not a bad rating for me. Again, I would still recommend it. But for me personally, I don't think that is something that I would actively think about, or it wasn't life-changing for me, you know what I'm saying? And this is a book that I would probably end up giving away. You know, I think once I do another unhaul, this will probably be one of those books that leave. And again, not because it's not good. It's just, it's not life-changing for me. Not something that I would probably want to pick up and reread. Not something that I'm going to actively think about. So it was good while I was in it. I had a great time. I genuinely had a great time. It's just, now I'm out of it. I'm ready to move on. Can't remember if I told y'all, we did find out that this is a duology. And we did decide that we're just going to go ahead and read the second book, being that it's still spooky season, you know what I'm saying? And being that we did have a good time, and maybe we'll get even more answers in the second book. So I haven't started it yet. Me and Britt planned on reading it today, but neither one of us has had a chance to even sit down and relax today. It's already 9 o'clock, you guys. It's already 9 o'clock, and I'm just now settling down and getting ready to eat dinner. Probably going to take a shower right after that. So I'm not entirely sure how far I'm going to get. We said we would aim for maximum 12 chapters today, minimum 6 chapters. So if I can make it to 6 chapters, then I'm doing something. But the second book is called I Am the Dark That Answers When You Call. And I am going to start it literally right now once I stop recording. And I'll probably let y'all know my thoughts, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, depending on whatever I have going on, okay? Okay, y'all. All right, quick update. We are literally, I think, 2 days later since I last updated y'all. I'm not sure if Britt started the book yet, to be completely honest. I did text her yesterday, but I haven't heard back from her just yet. So if I don't hear from her tomorrow, then I'm probably going to reach out again just to see where she is, or if she kind of wants to postpone reading, or whatever it is that, you know, she may have going on. But I did finally get to chapter 12. Now, I don't remember when I told y'all I was going to start the book. Whenever I told y'all I was going to start the book, me and Brittany, we both was having a day, and we were just lazy and just didn't feel like it. I think I ended up starting it when I got in bed that night, and I only got to chapter 3. I'm not sure if she started it at all. But the following day, I think, which was yesterday, I did end up reading, and I got up to chapter 12 like I said I was going to get up to it. Then I stopped there. That's where we said we were initially going to stop, and I didn't know whether or not Brittany started or where she is currently, so I didn't want to continue and surpass her, right? My thoughts on the book, I'm not really liking it too much. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's a little repetitive as far as everything that transpired in the first book. I feel like in the first couple of chapters, it's just constantly being talked about over and over again. It's like, okay, we know that happened, but we're in another book now. Can we not necessarily move on because what happened is a big deal, the way that the book ended, but like, what is the new storyline? You know what I mean? Also, the FMC is really giving damsel in distress. She's really giving like victim mentality, and that is just so triggering for me. Like, that victim shit be pissing me off. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of over it because she asked for this knowing what the repercussions were going to be in the first book. It was taken away from her. I'm speaking in riddles, y'all. It was taken away from her, and she went back and got it back and asked for it back. And now she has it stronger than she did before. But now in this book, it's like, it's really giving woe is me type energy. And it's just like, but you lost it, and it could have stayed that way, but then you chose to get it back for whatever reason, and now you're unhappy. I'm confused. I'm just really confused about what the fuck she has going on. I don't know. And then I think it didn't really start picking up for real until I got to maybe like chapter 4 or 5. And that's when it started to get a little bit more intriguing. So I'm kind of like stuck in between being intrigued enough to see it through, or just simply DNFing it, because I'm not really having the best time, but it's also not bad enough for me to be like, fuck it. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what Brittany's thoughts are, but, you know, we got to wait for her to check in and see what's going on. Once she does, I'll let y'all know. I don't know when I'm going to pick that book back up. Right now, I'm back in the wizarding world of Harry Potter. So that's what I'm going to be reading in between time until I hear from Brittany. Once I have more news, you'll have more news. Okay, y'all, real quick. I don't even know if I made any content for real reading this second book. And that's saying something. That alone should just tell you how I felt about this. How I felt about this book, babes. So I finished reading the second book. I can't remember the name of it right now, so I'll make sure I stick it right there in the corner. But it's the sequel to I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. I have a lot of the same thoughts that I had previously when it came to the first book about the second book. I genuinely don't feel like a second book was needed. The way that the first book wrapped up, it really could have been good as a standalone. However, I will say the second book, it was still intriguing. Being that the writing style is just so different from what I'm used to, it kept me intrigued a majority of the time. But if it wasn't for the writing style, I strongly feel like I would have DNF'd it. Just simply because I didn't see the point. I didn't see the point in the storyline. It was a decent storyline, but I just didn't see the point of the book or the storyline. And I already wasn't invested in the characters due to how I felt about the first book itself. I just didn't connect to them. So getting into the second book, I still wasn't connected. I still didn't really feel the feels. I was just kind of reading it just to fucking read it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. And ironically enough, once again, Brittany felt the same way.
Oh yeah, the second book was definitely unnecessary. Like, unnecessary as hell. I just feel like that was a conclusion to no conclusion. I don't know. I didn't, yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with that book.
I did end up rating this one a 3-star, and if I'm being honest, I could have went without both of them. So needless to say, spooky season TBR is kind of going, it's not going that well, you guys, but hopefully the next book that we get into kind of switches the trajectory of things. Because right about now, I am not that happy with our spooky season picks. The next book on our list is Blood at the Root by Ladarian Williams. Me and Britt do plan on starting this book sometime today. Both of us have a couple of things that we need to knock off our to-do list. And then once we kind of settle in, we're going to start reading the first book. Good morning, you guys. Quick book update. I started reading Blood at the Root yesterday afternoon sometime, and the writing is very, very small, and some of the chapters are a little bit long. I'm not gonna hold you. Y'all know how I feel about long ass fucking chapters. However, I'm having a grand time. Now, granted, I only made it to chapter, I think I'm like a page or two away from chapter 6. I ended up falling asleep last night when I picked it back up to read a little bit more. But so far, so good. The storyline is very, very intriguing. We have a young boy. His name is Malik. He's been in and out of foster care due to something happening to his mom, which they showcase right in the beginning of the prologue. So, you know, you get that information immediately. And he's been back and forth throughout foster care and everything like that. And he's just trying to find himself. And he has this little brother, a foster brother, that he's really connected to. And now they're just basically trying to figure some shit out. His magic is like really starting to come out now, even more than before. And it's making it very interesting because now that his magic has shown up, it's like a beacon to other family members that are trying to reach out to him and, you know, I don't know, I guess guide him or, you know, put him on the path that he needs to be put on, help him hone his magic. I don't know yet because I'm not deep into the storyline just yet, y'all. But I'm having a really good time. It's really resonating because it just feels like home, even down to the way that the writing style is. It's like talking in our slang, you know what I mean? The way that most black people talk in the South. So I love that. It's also, I think it started out in Alabama, but they're currently in Louisiana, and Louisiana is like cousins to Charleston because we all talk the same. Y'all probably can't really hear my lingo for real because I do code switch a lot. I worked retail and customer service a majority of my life, so it's like whenever I'm talking to other people, I just naturally code switch, which I kind of hate, but it is what it is. You just kind of get used to doing it. So I just code switch a lot whenever I'm like even on camera when I'm talking to y'all or whatever like that. But when I'm around my friends and my family, my accent come out thick. It come out thick. Every now and then you might hear my lingo slip out here and there or whatever. But I just think it's interesting because, you know, when people hear people from Louisiana talk, they think it's us or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm really enjoying just the entire everything about the book so far. I'm hoping that the momentum stays the same and it doesn't like take a nosedive like how the 2 previous books did that we were reading before. But so far so good, y'all. So far so good. I'm only on chapter 6. Well, almost chapter 6. I'm not sure where Brittany is yet though. She started last night too, and I think right before I started reading again, she told me she had just read 5, so she might be a little further than me. I will find that out from her later on today. And yeah, I will check back in with y'all later on. I'm out here running errands right now, but yeah, I'll check back in with y'all later on. Update, babes. I am on chapter 10, and I'm having a really good time with the story. I'm really, really loving this book so far. However, these chapters are so fucking long. Y'all, it's fucking with my ADHD bad, okay? Like, chapter 10 is 20 pages long. That doesn't seem so bad. But if you look at this writing, the writing is so small. I think I showed that to y'all before. Hold on. The writing is so small. So you might as well say it's 40 pages. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. And I know it's a mental thing, y'all, but it's fucking with me because, like, I'm really trying to put a dent in this book. You know what I'm saying? We were trying to aim for, I think, we were trying to aim to get to chapter 15 or 20 today. But, babes, like, these chapters are so long, like, ridiculously long. And I've said it multiple times before, like, I would rather have a book that has, like, 70-something chapters in it, but the chapters are shorter because it makes me feel like I'm kind of flying through it versus reading a book where the chapter takes me, like, 40 minutes to an hour to get through before I can get to the next chapter. Like, it's fucking with my head, y'all. But I'm gonna keep going because I do like the story. And if I have to take breaks in between, I'm gonna just have to take breaks in between. It's gonna piss me off to do that. But if that's what I gotta do, that's what I gotta do. Because I don't want to put myself in a book slump for one, or end up not enjoying the book as much as I want to because I'm just struggling trying to complete a chapter. You know what I mean? But outside of that, the book is good. He's finally at this HBCU, this magical campus. And one of their classes were really dope because it's like they're kind of going back in time. It's a history class, and every time they're learning a lesson, they're actually going back in time, kind of like some Magic School Bus shit. And I think that's really dope. There's also 2 characters currently that I don't like. One of them has already been introduced in the beginning. I can't remember his name right now. I think his name is Tehran or something. He's just a bougie ass dude. I don't know if there's actually really something, you know, underlining with his character. I just don't like his fucking attitude. He's uppity and thinks he's kind of better than other people. At least that's what it's given so far. And then there's another character, a student there, that's given like envy and jealousy when it comes to our main male character. And you know we hate that. But okay, y'all, I'm gonna give it all I got. It's like 5:30 and I gotta start my nightly routine, so I'm gonna try to finish chapter 10 before I do that, and I'll check back in with y'all. Baby, this quote right here, the saying, with great power comes great responsibility, may be true, but I ain't asked for none of this. This responsibility was passed down to me, and it's the cards that I've been dealt with. When I tell you I felt that shit, okay, y'all, I have to talk about this. I have to talk about it, okay? I wrapped up Blood at the Root yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday. Wow, y'all, baby brain, okay? Days running together. I wrapped this book up yesterday, and y'all, when I tell you, I don't even know where to begin, okay? I know I did a lot of complaining about the chapters being very long, and I still stand by that. If y'all can hear my washer and dryer, ignore it. I meant to close that door, but it's open. Whatever, we here now. But I still stand by the chapters being too long. Not all of the chapters, but a good portion of the chapters in the beginning. For me, it's very hard for my brain to stay locked in when it's that long. You know what I'm saying? It's an ADHD thing for me personally. And I'm dyslexic too. So I have to force myself or force my brain to slow down in order to grasp the information. And I don't want to do that when I'm just reading to have a good time. You know what I mean? So that is literally, and I mean literally, my only negative when it comes to this book. This book was such a goddamn happy, jolly fucking time. I love this book, y'all. The culture. Okay. And I'm probably going to say some shit to ruffle some people's feathers, but this is whatever. So I read a lot of black books, okay? And I read a lot of black books by black authors, right? And there's a difference in some of the writing, because in some black books, you could tell they for the black people, so they're gonna write for the black people, right? But sometimes it comes off forced with the way that the storyline flows or the way that the language is and stuff like that. And for me, it's very irritating because I don't like reading anything that seems forced, right? This flowed, okay? It flowed. And what I mean by that, just from when opening up the book, like, they talk like us. The lingo is there. The slang is there. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't seem forced. It just flows so naturally. Like, I felt like this was my people while I was in it. Does that make sense? So on top of that, the culture, y'all, is so much culture in this book. It don't make no sense. And if you're a spiritual being like me, or if you're into spirituality, if you believe in a lot of different things that's outside of like indoctrination and religion and things of that nature, the things that's talked about in this book just hits so heavy. It resonates so heavy. The trees, the ancestral bloodlines, the magic, the culture, the language. And what I also enjoyed was the fact that a lot of people compare this to, you know, a black version of Harry Potter. I can see it, which is why I was a little bit nervous about going into it, because we know how hyped Harry Potter is, for one. And then two, I didn't want to go into something that was kind of like a copycat. You know what I mean? This wasn't given that. Were there similarities? Yes, but not really. You could be like, this character reminds me of this person. This character reminds me of this person. Like, this situation is kind of very similar to this. And even with our MMC Malik, he has a tragic background from the very fucking start of childhood, same as Harry Potter. You know what I'm saying? But the storyline is completely fucking different. This is like how Brittany said in her message when we were talking about the book and, you know, recapping our thoughts on it or whatever. She was mentioning how she appreciated the fact that although there were similarities between this and Harry Potter, you can tell that this was a perfect example of just being inspired by something versus copying something, right? Because there is no comparison between the two. I'm not gonna hold you. There's no comparison between the two. Similarities, yes, but comparison as far as the storyline and the characters and things of that nature, is not there. It's not there.
Honestly, I feel like I am still gathering my thoughts because, whew, girl, when I tell you that has got to be the most fun I've had reading a book in a while. Don't get me wrong, like, I really enjoyed like Onyx Storm and like Quicksilver and a couple of the other reads that I've done this year that have like really just stood out. This is definitely up there, if not a little better. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a root for anybody black all the time. But I'm not saying that because of that. I'm saying that because this book had so much depth. Like, oh my God, I'm still processing, dude. Like, there was so much depth to all of the characters. There was a lot of growth. Oh my God, like, I just don't know how to fucking explain it to where it's like, literally, it is the black version of Harry Potter, but like a billion times better. I don't know. Like, if I had to fuck with Harry Potter or Blood at the Root, like, I would still fuck with both of them heavy, but it would be an extremely fucking hard decision because to me, Blood at the Root is up there with is up there if not better than Harry Potter.
Y'all, I enjoyed this book so much. Like, I want to really talk about it for real, but if y'all haven't read it, I don't want to, you know, spoil it for anybody. But boy, there's just so much that happened in this book that I resonated with just as a human being, and not only just a human being, but a spiritualist as well, as somebody that is very tapped in spiritually, and also very tapped in as far as nature is concerned, very tapped in as far as my own personal gifts are concerned, and things of that nature. So a lot of the stuff that was talked about, I just resonated with it. I understood it off rip, and I was just like, I see what you did there. Like, I see what you did there. I picked up on what you was putting down, bro. You know what I mean? This was, y'all, this was good. The betrayal in this book, the heartbreak in this book, the culture in this book, the HBCU, the magical school, yo, they had fraternities, they had sororities, they had, it was just so much culture and magic and understanding. And although the storyline is heartbreaking as well, because there's so much betrayal and hurt in this book too, this was just so good, y'all. And the build up, just kept going. It just kept going. There were a couple of characters in here that I was looking at sideways, and rightfully so. Some of the characters that I was looking at sideways, I was looking at them sideways, but it was more so just a character flaw, not because it was a fucked up individual. And also some of them that I was looking at like sideways, I was just like, that person ain't shit. I was right. But as far as the storyline is concerned, I would have never figured out this storyline. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I might can pinpoint a fucked individual in a book, but as far as the storyline, I would not have been able to figure out the storyline. This was so good. I cannot wait to get into the second book. I don't know when Brittany wants to start it. I'm sorry if y'all can hear my kids. I don't know when she wants to start. I think she has to work today, so we probably won't get into it until maybe later on tonight or possibly tomorrow, which is fine. But bruh, I can't wait. And then I know one of my subscribers said there's going to be a third book next year. This is definitely a book that I will pick up again. This is staying on my shelf. This is something that I would definitely reread before the third one comes back out, because I can read this and probably pick up on some stuff that I didn't realize that was there the first time. I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to give it a 4.5 or a 5-star. I don't know. I'm kind of stuck because I thoroughly enjoyed this book. But like I said, my only negative is just the long chapters. Like, if it wasn't for the long chapters, it would be a automatic 5, like no thought questioning about it. But because I had to like force myself to stop reading it just to give my brain a break to kind of like recalibrate so I could get back into it, that was annoying, because I didn't want to put the book down, but I had to, because my brain just was not operating the way that I needed it to, just due to the chapters being a little bit long. So I'm in between a 4.5, 5 right now. We'll see where it goes, but I can't wait to pick up the second book, y'all. Okay, that's my update. I'll see y'all in a little bit. So dope. There's a leak in this old building, in my soul. You gotta sing it. You gotta sing it. In my soul. There we go. Hey, y'all. I feel like I've been in this same fucking spot for the past 3 videos that I've been recording. But anyway, as y'all saw, I started Bones at the Crossroad by Ladarian Williams. This book is thick as hell, y'all. We started off with chapters 1 through 10. And I'm not gonna lie, the chapters are just as long as they were in the first book, okay? But the storyline is very intriguing. Last night we read another 10 chapters. So I actually am on, oh, hold on. I did not bookmark in the right spot. Yeah, I'm actually on chapter 21, page 225. I don't know how many chapters we are going to get into today. I'll have to talk to Brittany and see, because I think she has a funeral or something to go to today. And I don't know how long that's going to be, or, you know, whatever they may have planned afterwards. So we'll see. We'll see. But so far, I am enjoying the book. Brittany is thoroughly enjoying the book too, y'all. This kind of reminds me, not the storyline itself, but I like using Fourth Wing and Iron Flame as a perfect example, because with Fourth Wing, when you get into it, it's, you know, the world building, it's the, you know, the characters you're learning the school, you're learning the magic system and everything like that. It's exciting, it's fun, it's nerve-wracking, you know what I mean? Blood at the Root was exactly like that, because although you have your trauma and the heartbreaks and the things of that nature that's mixed up in these books, it's still the very first book. So it's the opening of the door, getting to know everything that's going on, everything that's getting ready to happen, you know, just kind of connecting with the characters and the world itself and understanding the magic system, right? Now, with Iron Flame was more information based. So although it still was action in the book, there was still, you know, you still have your characters that you love and so on and so forth. You had to pay more attention to what was being said, what was being talked about, because it was a lot of information that was given based off of how the first book ended, right? This is what this reminds me of. Bones at the Crossroad is very informative. There's a lot of talk about the magic system and how it began, the past, the ancestors that created it, you know, how they got to this point, how people turned bad, how people operated in the good. It's just a lot of background on everything that we got in the first book. So for some people, this might not be a good read for them because it's not as action-packed as the first one was. You more so have to kind of sit down and really pay attention to what's going on. I'm pretty sure the action is going to build up towards the end. But like I said, it's just a lot of information that you have to read about and digest to really understand why things took place the way that they took place in the first book. So for some people, they might not really enjoy this like that. For me personally, I'm having a good time because a lot of questions that I had from the first book are being answered. And even questions that were answered, I'm getting like a deeper explanation in terms of it, right? We do have some new characters that have shown up, and I like them. I think our leading lady in the first book was Alexis, but now we have a new leading lady, and her name is Dominique. I actually really do like Dominique. I liked Alexis too, but you know, shit happens. Y'all have to read the book. But I actually really do like Dom, and I like the type of energy that she provides for our MMC Malik. So I'm interested to see how their relationship flourishes, or if it flourishes at all, just due to some of the things that transpired in this book. But there's not much that I can say right now because, again, I would be spoiling a lot being that it's the second book. And then secondly, there's still so much that hasn't happened yet. It's still so much that I'm reading and understanding. So I'm not going to get too deep. I did find out last night that this was on Audible, which was very helpful. So I have been listening to the book as well as reading along because it's helping me get through these chapters a little bit faster. Because like I told you, these chapters are just unnecessarily long. So the Audible has been helping. And I'm going to keep using the Audible to wrap up this book, okay? And that's the plan. Good evening, Boogie Butts. So, I've been listening, as you can see, and reading along with this book. I am currently on chapter 26. This is where I stopped at. I still haven't heard from Britt yet today, so I don't know where she is, so hopefully she don't curse me out. I talked to her a little bit last night, but she never told me what chapter she stopped on. And we haven't really talked today because she did have a lot going on. What is going on outside? Do y'all hear them sirens? There's a lot of sirens going on out there. I hope whoever that is all right. But yeah, I don't know where she is on her read right now. So I don't want to get too far from her I started reading again probably about 2 hours ago because it's pushing 10 o'clock tonight. So I started reading again 2 hours ago just to try to knock out a few more chapters. And I was going to try to get up to chapter 30, baby. But I still haven't heard from the girl. So I don't want to get too far and then she curses me out. Because she will. She will. But babes, I'm on page 282. And to complete chapter 30, it would be 318. So it's not that far. It's not that far. I might have to just, I'm going to give her some time. I'm going to go and take a shower really quick, y'all. I'm going to go take a shower. And then if I don't hear from her by the time I get out the shower, I'm going to just call it a night. I'll probably pick up a different book to read in the meantime, in between time. I really didn't want to start my other Harry Potter book yet. But if I don't hear from her, then I might go ahead and kick that off. I want to be done with this before the end of the week, babes. It's only Tuesday. I want to be done with this shit. Honestly, I want to be done with this shit tomorrow. I'm not going to hold you. I am enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. I can't really talk about too much because, like I said earlier, it's informational. You know what I'm saying? It's very informational. And I feel like if I say anything about the storyline, it's going to not only spoil this book, but kind of spoil the first book too. So I don't really want to tell y'all too much. But just know that I'm having a good time. And I'm just ready to be done. I'm just ready to be done because it is that good. I want to know what the fuck is going on. I want to know what's about to happen. I want to know all of the tea, But okay, y'all. I will more than likely talk to y'all tomorrow sometime. Yeah. Hey, babes. It's been a couple of days. But, matter of fact, let me prop y'all up. Hold on. I have got to start keeping my my tripod. Yeah, I've got to start keeping my tripod handy because when I don't, y'all be at these weird ass angles. And honestly, I shouldn't even really care for real because y'all already know what it is. It's chaotic over here. Whatever. Okay, that's just gonna have to do for now. Okay, first off. So, reading update. I finished Bones at the Crossroads. I literally just finished it probably like 15 minutes ago. I did end up reading a little bit ahead. I couldn't help myself. Like the places that we were supposed to stop, it was at very intense parts of the book. And I just couldn't stop right there. Like it was like a cliffhanger and I couldn't do it. So I read a little bit ahead. But Brittany she's currently at work, but she's on chapter 43 right now, I believe. And there's only 46 chapters plus an epilogue. So she should be done by the day's end.
Hey girl, you funny as hell. I'm reading your message and this shit says literally sucked into the fucking air. And for what? That's how I read it. Sucked into the air. And for what, bruh? I was not ready for that ending. Like, that was eventful. That was an eventful book. I thoroughly enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the first one. Overall, my thoughts are pretty scattered about the book. Did I enjoy it? Absolutely. Am I still processing? Yes, ma'am. Am I going to be processing for quite some time? Yeah. Yep, that's the one.
There's so much that I want to say about this book, but again, being that it is the sequel, I got to keep it cute because talking about it the way that I would like to talk about it would indeed give spoilers, especially spoilers for the very first book. So it's not but so much that I can say about this, y'all. I hate that for y'all. I hate that for me, but I don't want to ruin it for anybody that wants to get into this story. Some of the characters that you despise, you end up having some type of soft spot for, even if you don't like them, or you end up liking them. entirely because you get more information on their background and why they're acting the way that they're acting. There's characters in here that you start to hate even more than you hated before in the first book. So lots of drama, lots of heartbreak still, lots of action, lots of magic, lots of culture, lots of breaking of chains and healing ancestral bloodlines. And again, this one was definitely more informational based, like I've been saying in the past couple of clips. So getting into this second one, you definitely have to keep an open mind and you definitely have to be locked in to understand a lot of what the book is talking about and what's being piggybacked off of from the first book. So I am also rating this a 4.5 star. The ending, I need the third book immediately because the way that it ended, it wasn't necessarily a cliffhanger per se, but it was more so like, what the fuck is about to happen now? Like that's kind of what the ending of it was giving. What is about to happen now? The first one was what the fuck. This one is what's about to happen now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sure when the third one comes out, but I know it's supposed to come out next year. I just don't know when. So very interested to see how this story is going to end. 4.5 stars, definitely recommend. This water's so good, y'all. Whew. Anyway, just got out the shower. It is close to 11:30. And I'm getting ready to start the 5th book in our spooky season TBR. The book that we were actually going to start, I was like, let's just wait. Let's read that next because that book is like this thick. And honestly, y'all, my brain needs a little bit of a break because the first 2 books that we read kind of drug out as far as the storyline is concerned. And then the series that we just completed, the Blood at the Root and Bones at the Crossroad, those weren't super thick books, but the chapters were extremely long, right? So I kind of need a break, a mental break. So we're skipping ahead to one of the novellas that's on our list. It's called Myers by, I don't want to get the author's name wrong. I think it's Zipporah or something like that. I've never read anything by this author before, so this is going to be a first. This is like a Myers Halloween retelling type situation, so definitely on theme as far as spooky season is concerned, and more than likely it's going to be in the dark realm. Don't really know if it's going to be like a dark romance type situation or what, but I'm expecting darkness. I'm expecting gore, maybe a little bit of unaliving. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, getting ready to start that. I have it downloaded on my Kindle now. I think Brittany has already started, so I'm getting ready to tap into.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I was on this, Mama, and I'm going to show you something else.
Okay, babes. Hello, good afternoon. I apologize if you hear that music thumping from downstairs in the garage. My husband is downstairs grilling. Yeah, I'm just here to do a quick little book review for the book that me and Britt just wrapped up, Myers. So Myers is basically a Michael Myers retelling, like a Halloween edition. The book itself was very dark and twisted and disturbing. I'm not gonna hold you, but the storyline definitely did keep me intrigued. We have our MMC, who at the time in the beginning is 12 years old, and he has a shitty ass guardian, okay? A shitty ass guardian. And this guardian is also a babysitter. So she's supposed to be babysitting this little girl, which is our FMC. And I believe at the time the FMC is 4. He's 12, she's 4, something like that. And because he has a shitty ass guardian that doesn't even take care of him, of course the guardian doesn't take care of the child that she's supposed to be babysitting. So he actually becomes said guardian, the protector, and all of that. Okay, he does everything for this little girl. Something happens, and I don't want to say what, but something happens within that storyline that causes him to end up going to jail for 14 years. Doesn't have anything to do with the little girl, okay? Let me just put that out there. But it causes him to go to jail for 14 years. I think he's supposed to be in jail longer than that, but he ends up going to jail at 12 years old, you guys. At 12 years old, crazy. And the storyline just pretty much follows. Once he gets out, he's in search of this little girl, the FMC. He's in search of, well, she ain't little no more. He's in search of her, trying to figure out where she is, who has her, you know, I need to get her back, you know, she belongs to me type thing. So it does kind of transition from like a guardian protector role to a romantic type of vibe, which it took me a minute to wrap my head around because it happened so swiftly. Being that this is a novella, it happened so swiftly that it didn't necessarily build up to that. So it took me a minute to kind of wrap my head around the swift change, the swift dynamic change, right? But overall, the storyline itself did keep me intrigued despite how dark and twisted it was. So if you are looking for, you know, a little spooky season type of vibe, it is Halloween related, you know, get into it. But definitely get into the trigger warnings. I rated this one a 3 point, I don't know. I'm somewhere in between a 3 and a 3.5 because it was good for what it was, but it was a lot of moments in the book where I was like, what the fuck am I reading, you know? The MMC though was actually pretty funny. He's one of those, like those bad guys. I can't even say bad guys. I guess a vigilante, if you will, because he's doing crazy shit, but with the utmost pure intentions. But he was pretty funny. I did chuckle a few times while reading this novella, y'all. But it was a quick read. It was around like 100 to 150 pages or something like that. So we were able to fly through it. We probably could have finished it within a day. But being that Britt did have to work, of course, there was like a gap in between because I didn't want to finish it without her. So it took us about a day and a half. We did end up finishing it last night when we finally picked it back up. So that's how I feel about it.
As far as my thoughts on the book, that shit was absolutely hilarious, bro. Like, I was laughing a lot. Like, his little witty comments were hilarious. His thought process, however tragic. Her thought process, I was like, bruh, what the entire fuck? The whole thing was just, I don't know. It was definitely a palate cleanser. I don't know what I would rate it. I'm still, like, kind of on the fence about how to rate it. But, yeah, girl. That shit was fucking funny, though. I finished it like, what the fuck did I just read?
5 books down, y'all. 3 more to go. Good morning, you guys. Happy sunrise. Ooh. Hope y'all ain't seen that. Anyway, I am getting ready to start Hex by Emily McIntyre. I actually really love Emily's writing. Now, granted, the only thing that I've ever read by her is the Never After series, and this is the 6th and final installment in this series. All of the books are standalones, by the way, so you don't have to read them in order. But this one just came out sometime last year, and I'm just now getting around to it. It's not necessarily a retelling per se, but how does she explain it? Let me explain it to y'all the way she explains it. She says it's a dark contemporary romance. It is an adult fractured fairy tale. It is not a fantasy or a literal retelling, okay? The main character is a villain, and if you're looking for a safe read, you will not find it in these pages. I love that that's the disclaimer in every single book in this series. But I actually really enjoy this series. I did a reading vlog on it, by the way, so if you want to check it out, you can. I did the reading vlog on the first 5 books, but this one is geared towards the Little Mermaid. So I know it's not the exact Little Mermaid storyline, but it's a play off of the character names and things of that nature. So Getting ready to start this. Not sure if Brittany started yet or not. It's been a couple of days since I last spoke to her. I know she had a lot going on as far as work and stuff is concerned. So I'm actually getting ready to start on my end, and then we'll... It's like I'm not recording. I'm getting ready to start, and then I will check in with her just to see where she is or if she started yet or whatever have you. Hey y'all, I'm back in this bed. Today was Halloween, by the way, so we're just now getting back home from taking the children trick-or-treating. I'm actually on chapter 16 currently. Well, I started reading on the Kindle since I'm laying down. I'm actually having a really good time with this book, y'all. I really am. So without giving y'all too much, because I don't want to spoil it for one, and then two, I'm still fairly early in the book, but you have our FMC, whose name is Vanessa, but they call her Urs for short, which clearly is Ursula. You have her cousin, who is Aria, which is clearly Ariel. And then you have our MMC, who is Enzo, who is clearly Eric. What I like about this series, though, all of the good guys in the actual movies and books or whatever, they're the villains. Or they give, like, villain type energy if they're not flat out villains. You know what I mean? So Aria, although we know in Little Mermaid, Ariel is this young, fun, childlike spirit, you know, a little naive, you know, things like that. In this book, she's a flat out bitch. She's a fucking bitch, okay? I don't like her. I don't like her. I also don't like Uncle T. Uncle T is King Triton, clearly. Don't like Uncle T, which is Aria's dad. You also have Fisher, which is what's the little fish's name? But she calls Fisher Guppy, or Gup for short, which was the fish's nickname in Little Mermaid. So I thought that was cool too. But yeah, so far it's just giving like real mafia vibes, and it's kind of like forbidden love, because Enzo and Vanessa kind of have this unspoken, unwritten like energy towards each other. They're really feeling each other, but it's an arranged marriage right now, to where Enzo is currently engaged to Aria. And Aria and Vanessa hate each other. Hate each other. Hate each other. So I'm very interested to see how this is gonna go. I want to tell y'all more, but I really don't want to spoil what's happening so far, because a lot is taking place, and I feel like if I tell you any more than that, I'll be kind of spoiling the storyline. So I'm gonna just kind of leave it where it is right now, but I'm having a really good time with it so far. I'm gonna keep reading until I end up falling asleep, because we do have an early morning tomorrow. My daughter has dance in the morning, and then we're supposed to go to the fair, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna read until I go to sleep. So, good night. Okay, babes. This has been the longest fucking month of my life, I feel like, okay? But anyway, I wrapped up Hex yesterday. And I have a lot of thoughts, but I don't want to give too many thoughts. But I actually really did have a good time with this. I'm finding that I kind of enjoy mafia books or dark contemporary romance. I really enjoy dark romance books, but I kind of ventured from dark romance and into the fantasy realm because I wanted to try something new. And now that I'm kind of discovering also like mafia and dark contemporary, those are kind of up there too. I'm having a good time with that. But this falls under like a mafia dark contemporary romance type of vibe. And I had a really good time with it. I think I explained to y'all like some of the character names, how it was transitioned from The Little Mermaid. And like I said, the storylines clearly are completely different, okay? We all know Little Mermaid was not mafia related, right? I just enjoy reading it, knowing that I've seen Little Mermaid and knowing the different names and like thingamabobs and like just some of the dialogue and the way that it was written. It was fun. It was a fun read. I will say I wasn't a huge fan of the ending, only because I expected a little bit more. I think because I read the entire series, I think last year or the year before last, I don't remember. And I enjoyed the whole series, y'all. It was one book in particular. I think it was Twisted. I did not like Twisted. A lot of people liked that book. I was not a fan. But the series as a whole, I enjoyed because all of them were like a spinoff of some type of childhood Disney movie or whatever, right? And the way that they would end, it kind of left you in a chokehold a little bit because the storyline is just so insanely crazy, okay? Even this storyline, insanely crazy. But the way that the other books ended, I kind of expected a little bit more oomph with this particular ending, especially how the FMC is, because she's such a badass. She reminds me a lot of Evie, which is the main FMC in Wretched. And that was my favorite book in the in the series. I love a badass female in a book. And she is definitely a badass. Vanessa is a badass in this book. But I expected more from her. How can I put this? Her redemption story. I just expected a lot more for her. I feel like she deserved a better ending than what she got. At the end of the day, she still won. But I feel like it should have been so much more than what she got. Like, I don't know. But outside of that, I definitely enjoyed the book. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the storyline. I enjoyed the tension. Another thing about Emily McIntyre, she does slow burns very, very well. The tension is always just so built up. And by the time you hit like 70% in the book is when things really start popping off between the two characters. And it's like you enjoy it even more because it was building up from the very beginning. I love Emily McIntyre's writing. Now, I haven't read anything else outside of the Never After series, so I don't know what her other books entail or how the writing is for her other books, but for the Never After series, it's a great time. It's a great time. I rated this book 4 stars. Like I said, the only reason it's not higher for me is just simply because I wanted more. As far as the ending was concerned, I wanted my girl to have a little bit more of a redemption type of storyline arc. You know, revenge is sweet. I just wanted more for her. But for the most part, I really did enjoy this. I enjoyed the FMC. I enjoyed the MMC. I enjoyed the storyline. And this was a nice addition to complete the entire Never After series. I haven't gotten Brittany's thoughts on the book just yet. So when she messages me, or if she messages me sometime soon, I will plug it in so y'all can kind of see how she feels about it too. If she doesn't send it before it's time for me to edit this video and wrap it up, then it just is what it is. And just know that she's enjoying it too. For the most part, from what she's told me so far, she's really liking the book as well. Now, I know initially I said we were going to be reading 8 books for this vlog, y'all. But babes, I'm ready to wrap this shit up. Okay, we already in November. There's other books that I want to get into in the month of November, and I just don't feel like dragging this vlog out any longer, especially because spooky month is already over. So I kind of want to wrap it up, get it edited, and put it out there for y'all. There were only 2 more books. Initially, we were going to read Nightshade for this vlog too, but we found out that that's supposed to be a whole entire series, and I don't know if it's like a trilogy type situation or like a real series for real. And there's only 1 book out right now, so we went ahead and took that off the list. We will read that at another time. But we were supposed to read Manacled and also Alchemized in this particular vlog, but I'll probably do a separate vlog altogether for both of those books, and we'll just leave this vlog where it's at, wrapping it up right here. Well, no 5 stars this particular vlog, but that's okay. I did still have a good time with the books that I read. I won't say that this is the best spooky season TBR that we've had thus far, but I don't really have many complaints, honestly, because the books that we got into, I did thoroughly enjoy. Some of them more than others, obviously, but still a good time nonetheless. With all that being said, babes, I'm gonna go ahead and end this vlog here. I hope y'all had a good time. I know some of these clips were a bit chaotic because it's been all over the place, and I've been doing like 2 to 3 other vlogs in the midst of this one vlog. So there's some clips that I was forgetting to record. There were moments where I was forgetting to set up the camera. It's just the whole thing. But I hope this is enough for y'all. It better be enough, babe, because it took a lot out of me, okay? This shit took a lot out of me. Either way, I hope y'all have a good time watching this. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know if I've inspired you to read any of these books. And of course, as always, if you enjoy the vibes, please subscribe, okay? Come on over to the tribe. We would love to have you. But I hope y'all have a beautiful rest of your day, whatever day of the week it is that I decide to drop this out. And I will catch you in the next one, okay? Bye.
I'm putting up crushed ice on my soda. I'm putting up crushed ice on my soda.